Yeah, it's crazy what one counter trap can actually cause the mentality of the community. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more kind of yesterday's counter trap card has caused quite an interesting little topic of discussion here, which it's been, how good actually is it? Paying 3K to rip out all of your opponent's MSTs seems not too terrible, but you could also use this to rip out any specific Radiant Typhoon card that your opponent might be, having some play with. Now, that did get me a little bit curious. How are some of these, more unique MSTs holding up within the stretch of the market? I mean, 115, 120, 124 for near mints. I mean, this is to be expected. It is an old OTS Ultimate Rare. Anytime that you look at a classic card like this, it's going to be a different story. Now, I mean, you roll back here, we do have the Ghost Rares, which these are kind of getting a little bit skimpy on listings, about $36-ish to $37 on light plays, which isn't bad. I also see Dark Beginning 1s are pretty high. And then, of course, you just mosey on down here to the Quarter Century. These are $27 a piece. So, I mean, you're not doing necessarily too bad on this. You've got silvers. I mean, when you start getting into the Duelist League stuff, you're already touching on the incredibly niche rarities as it is. Same thing with going back to Spell Ruler versus Magic Ruler first eds. There's a bounce back here of discussion on some of these, but yeah, once you start getting into this stuff, and then hobby leagues are incredibly cheap actually. Mod plays and light plays are $7 a piece, so always contact your talk to your local judge about legality. Then, of course, the counter trap card can also blow out Engage. Surprisingly enough, the alt art Engage, are we up or are we down? I think we're up now. I think we're actually riding this $200 wave. Now, I mean, does the card actually sell? No, we've not had a sell on this since back in October. It's actually been about 3 months at this stage since one of these engages has actually sold on the market. Now, I mean, keep in mind you do have the alternate or the original print here, which these are just $69 a piece, giggity. And that's kind of something interesting. Oh, this is also interesting. We'll talk about that here in a second. But yeah, it does look like all of your copies of Engage you can just resolve and, destroy your opponent's hopes and dreams. Even the alt arts calm down. This is good. These were way more expensive. I mean, what? Back 4 months ago, this was a $16 card. So you've been seeing a calm down on this. Interesting to take note of here. It looks like Legendary Modern decks 2026 are actually up on pre-sale right now. Now, should we be happy about this price? Should we be sad about this price? You're looking at about $40 a deck. Now, if I do recall, MSRP is close to 30, like its predecessor here. Now, the one thing I want to say when comparing this to the other deck, keep in mind that there could be some crazy hidden value in here. I don't know if Dominuses are going to be in here or not. Only time will tell. But the fact that you can buy this and get straight out of the box, decently competitive decks to play this game, it is worth a consideration. So I'm glad to see that, early pre-sales aren't horrible. Hopefully people don't end up spending $60+ on this like we had with the last legendary deck, because that was crazy to see. Alba Lenitus. So if you've been paying attention to the little crazy ride that is branded, then you might have noticed a nice little, this card just disappearing. Because, I mean, you guys remember, right? This was always the runt of the litter. Nobody ever liked this card. It was terrible. Why would you? And then suddenly, boom, the card's worth, $75. But you also do care about the end phase effect here, because you can add a polymerization or a fusion normal spell from your deck to your hand. Also keep in mind here that you can just set a Fallen of Albaz and then just contact fuse away. That's what makes this card a very, very dangerous card. And if Dragon Link is a deck that does take off, you know, Alba Lenitus here is always going to be one of those cards that is going to really, really, really scare people. So, something just to think about. I gotta love the counters to the counters. Fabled Beelzebul. We've been watching this one. You guys remember when this card was a whole whopping $1, right? Nobody's ever going to play it. And then people realized, oh boy, we need generic Fiend light monsters to do full Fiendsmith combo. But also, we need good level 10 Synchro monsters. You know, after you ban Baron DeFleur, there's only so many options that you really got left that you can just toss into things. This is not the first time we've looked at Beelzebul. I just want to remind people, keep an eye on this. I think this card is more expensive on the UK side of things and over in Europe than it is actually here. Hoppier Squadron. You know, I still can't believe that this card is rolling up to be a $3 to $4 card. Like, it seems so unrealistic to be seeing this, but I'm honestly mesmerized by this. It's so funny to see that a card that, you know, we joked about for years. We're like, yeah, maybe someday, you know, Hoppier Squadron will be good. And then we go through the developments of time, and then all of a sudden, you know, you kick back into 2026 here, and you're like, oh, well, that card that we talked about for years is actually doing things. And to be fair, I mean, you've got a 2020 10 common for this, and you've got a Chaos Impact rare. Pick your version that you want to play. The answer is there's not a lot of these to really work from. So, definitely interesting on the long term. Oh, Elemental Hero Necroshade from the GX Duel Academy. This is an old Game Boy Advance game. That's always going to be one of the interesting things, too, when you're looking into, like, the niche sectors of the market. You know, somebody's going to be like, oh, well, why is X card? Because to get, you know, one, it was paywall behind some extremely hard to get thing. Or two, you know, the versions of these that do exist today just are so far and in between that they have just basically whittled down into nothingness. And I think that that's kind of the case you're looking at here. Old video game promo disappearing. I mean, when you take off the limiter here, you will see that, you know, there are plenty in between, but those near mints don't hardly exist. Emergency Call. You know, I will say, based on everything that's been happening with heroes over the last, like, couple of months, you know, you got Miracle Ejector, you got new masked hero stuff, they're really, really pushing for this deck to be good, and technically, isn't this, like, one of the highest rarities that you can get? Secret Rare's coming in 18, oh, excuse me, actually, this is 20, 21, 24, on up to 32, so, I mean, like, you got... They're moving upwards. This is not just something that's just happening for no reason. Now we take off the limiter. I mean, do we actually get like cheaper down here? No. You're still looking at $15 a copy for these. All the way around. I mean, you can get ultras for even like $4 to $5. DRO4s are gone. Why are DRO4s gone? Sure, mate. Well, that's for first eds. Hold up here 1 second. Alright, there we go. There's your DRO4s actually in stock with 20 listings. Interesting. Yeah, all copies of this are pretty well populated. Just except for, you know, secrets and ultras are doing stuff. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. This one's a classic. If you've played any older formats, you're always going to know to keep an eye on stupid cards like Beckoning Light. And also, this thing is locked all the way back here. There's only 2 printings on the market for this. Take the gamble on the feedback or get a French copy. It does look like there are... You can get mod plays for 57s. Looks like you can get a light play German for 70. But... And then there's 100... Ugh, wow. Good job, Beckoning Light. I'm glad to see that you're really carrying your weight in the meta. And then a little bit of a shout out here to the Witch of the White Forest. If you guys haven't been paying too much attention, the White Forest has been kind of kicking back around again. It's not like the strangest occurrence to be happening, but it's definitely enough at the point right now that I gotta bring this up every market watch just to kind of remind people that, you know, this deck is actually doing things. It's not just a, oh boy, it's literally worthless. No, it's actually it's actually got a little bit more going for it than I kind of anticipated it to have. So let's all kind of see where this goes from here, but I've definitely got some high hopes for this deck. At least it seems fun. So please, comment down below, tell me what you guys think. I'll see your beautiful faces back here later today, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.